Clerk 1 second. Okay, Madam Clerk, you ready? IT? Please off. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our regular scheduled council meeting. Today is Wednesday, the 12th. The time is now 6:09 p.m. I hereby call this meeting to order. Please remember to silence your phones. And if you must take a call, please step outside so that we could keep an orderly and respectful atmosphere while we have our meeting. All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicole Reynoso.
Present.
Councilwoman Maureen Porras.
Here.
Councilman Rafael Pinedo.
Present.
Vice Mayor Dina Cabral.
Here.
Mayor Christy Fraga.
Present.
Mayor, you have quorum.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman Porras. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, agenda order of business. Madam City Manager, Mr. City Attorney, any changes from you all?
No, Mayor, we're fine.
No,
Thank
Mayor.
you.
I have had some requests to make some arrangements in the agenda since it is a long one, so if you all will indulge some of our requests. We have been asked to hear item 20G, which is the city's comprehensive plan, first reading again, as our first item. Should be very quick, so we'll hear that first. And then we're gonna move item 20Q right after 20E, since the applicant has several items and would like to have them all taken up right after the other. If there's no objections to that, those will be the changes to the agenda order of business. Is everyone okay with that?
Yep.
Yes? Okay, Madam Clerk, make the notes on the agenda, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and we will go ahead and move into public comments. We will now open the floor for public comments. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address any item on today's agenda or any matter related to the city of Doral. Please begin by stating your name and address for the record to ensure that you're registered with the city clerk. We will first hear from those who have pre-registered with our city clerk, followed by any walk-in speakers. Once all of the pre-registered speakers have spoken, I will mention that this is your final reasonable opportunity and you can approach the podium. As a reminder, in accordance with City Code of Conduct, we ask that you make all remarks in a respectful, courteous, and orderly manner. Personal attacks, offensive language, disruptive behavior will not be permitted. Please, let's work together to maintain a productive forum that is constructive for all. I will go ahead and open up the floor to pre-registered speakers, which I believe we have none at this time. So anyone who would like to speak on any item related to the city council, germane to the city, or on this agenda, please approach the podium. Being none, public comments is now closed. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect no one has chosen to speak at this time. And we'll go ahead and move into our public hearing items.
Madam Mayor, may I please swear in all the witnesses for all the public hearings?
Yes, ma'am.
If you are presenting testimony in any of the public hearings tonight, please stand up, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that the information that I'm about to present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. Thank you very much. Item 20G, ordinance number 2026-20, comprehensive plan update. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, adopting evaluation and appraisal report ER-based amendments to the comprehensive plan by amending the resiliency element, future land use element, transportation element, housing element, infrastructure element, conservation element, parks and recreation element, educational facilities element, intergovernmental coordination element, and capital improvements element by creating new private property rights element and economic development element, and updating the water supply facilities work plan pursuant to sections 1633191, 1633184, and 163317760 Florida statutes, providing for transmittal to the State Land Planning Agency, Florida Department of Commerce, providing for conflicts, severability, inclusion in the comprehensive plan, and an effective date.
Okay. Opening up the public hearing for item 20G, also known as 26-6715. Anyone who would like to speak on this item, please approach the podium. Showing no interest. Public comments is now closed. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect no one has chosen to speak at this time. And we'll now hear from staff, or I believe Ms. Michelle Lopez is here visiting us.
Thank
Welcome.
you, Mayor.
Always nice to be back in your chambers. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. Tonight, we're presenting the ordinance for the city's evaluation and appraisal report of the comprehensive plan. It's a required state mandated update. I'll walk you through what the year is, what changed in your comp plan, and how we engage the community and what happens after tonight. So 2 terms that you're going to hear throughout this presentation, I'm going to define them up front. The first is the comprehensive plan. That's the city's long-range policy document. It sets the city's goals, objectives, and policies, and its growth pattern. Every land development regulation and every development order has to be consistent with your comprehensive plan. The second is the evaluation and appraisal report, which is a periodic checkup of that plan. State law requires that it's done at least every 7 years. We evaluate whether the plan still reflects the current state law and the local conditions, notify the state, and then adopt whatever amendments are required. In short, the comp plan is the document, and the year review tells us what we need to update every 7 years. Your last comp plan update was in 2016, a holistic comp plan update. You've done minor updates since then, but the year process and the last major comp plan update was done in 2016. So that's 10 years of development pattern that has changed. It's a decade of growth, development, and infrastructure demand, and we just need to catch up through the policy document and update that, and then have a 25-year projection forward. So the purpose of the ordinance is to amend the comp plan so it stays consistent with local state requirements and reflects where the city is actually at today. And so through this effort, we're updating every element, objective, policy in the plan that was reviewed and required updating. So we updated or amended your 10 core elements, which is resiliency, your land use, future land use policy, transportation, housing, infrastructure, conservation, parks and recs, education, intergovernmental coordination, and capital improvements. There are 2 new elements as part of the comp plan, which is your economic development policy. Several years ago, FIU conducted a project where they looked at potential economic development policies that the city could pursue. And so we're rolling that into the comprehensive plan. And then the property rights element was adopted by reference in 2022. Through this effort, we're incorporating the property rights element into the larger document, as well as the data and analysis that goes with it. We've also taken the water supply plan, the 10-year horizon, and brought it up to date. So through this process, there was community engagement, which is also required. The first was a community workshop held at Doral Central on January 20th. The second was a tabling event at the farmers market at Doral Central again. That one had a little bit more interaction and activity from the residents, and we really appreciated their input. And then the third, we had QR codes at both events and then also posted throughout city facilities, City Hall, at your parks departments, so that the community can engage from a remote setting on their cell phones. So we took all of that engagement and commentary, and we kind of rolled it into the document as we looked at the policies and objectives to update. So this all probably sounds a little bit familiar. I was here on April 10th doing a very similar presentation. At that time, the document was adopted. We transmitted to the state. The state came back. They wanted some changes and requested that we go back to first reading and LPA. So we're doing so. Where we land next is after tonight, if we have your support to proceed, we'll go ahead and retransmit to the state again. They'll go through a 30-day review cycle, submit comments, we'll address the comments, then we come back for second reading, and then we retransmit again for another 30-day review. We had significant engagement between our staff at Corradino and the city, and so I just want to give a brief acknowledgement. The Corradino project manager was Catherine Lyon, and we had Madison Admida supporting on data analysis and collection. Your land use special counsel, Valerie Vicente, looked at the document. She did her legal sufficiency review. And then, of course, most importantly is your departments. Guillermo de Nacimiento, the assistant director of planning and zoning, was the city's project manager, kind of shepherding this process, coordinating between departments. And then we had significant feedback from your planning and zoning team, Public Works, Parks and Recs, capital improvements, economic development, and public affairs, helping us with the notices and the social media posts for those community workshops that we discussed. So I just want to say thank you to all of those departments and participation. We couldn't do it without you. And with that, thank you for your time. I ask for a recommendation of approval, and then we can proceed with transmittal.
Okay, you have any more comments, Madam Manager? I have a quick question. Sure. Are we required to do all of the public engagement stuff again? Is that not?
No,
Not being affected?
Yeah, it's not being affected.
So the language that's being updated or changed was more based on what exactly?
Yeah, there were technical nuances that the state felt were maybe a little bit more restrictive or burdensome. I had an in-depth conversation with the manager's office and your legal team. We determined collectively none of those policies we were willing to die on the hill for. We can always come back
We rolled them
later.
back,
Yeah,
but not detrimental to the changes to the comp plan.
not at all.
And we're certain that the state will be. I mean, it was in line with what they recommended.
Yes,
We reviewed.
we took all the recommendations and we just went line by line and accepted what they asked for.
Felt it was a little bit of an overreach, but okay. Do we have any other questions? No? All right.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilwoman Reynoso.
Second.
Second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call a roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-20 on first reading made by Councilwoman Reynoso, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Councilwoman Reynoso.
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras. Vice Mayor Cabral.
Yes.
Mayor Fraga.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. See you soon. All right, next item, Madam Clerk.
We're going back to item 20A, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving the site plan and special exception use permit for plus or minus 8,000 square feet fitness sports facility and outdoor soccer fields located on a vacant parcel in the city of Doral, Florida, identified with Miami-Dade folio number 35-3022-000-0981, pursuant to section 68-849B5 of the city's land development code and providing for an effective date.
All right, let me go ahead and do the public hearing first. Mr. Magarizo, thank you. Opening up public comments for item 20A, also known as 26-6681. Anyone who would like to speak on this item and this item alone, please approach the podium. Being no public comments for this item, we are now closing the public comments portion. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect no one has chosen to speak at this time, and I will take any ex parte communications on this item. I did have some ex parte communication during the workshop. I happened to walk in and meet the applicant, and I know that they've worked hard on this. It will not affect my decision on it. And we're happy that we're here today. Let's move forward. Mr. Magarizo?
Okay. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, Madam Manager. I think I have a presentation. Perfect. Okay, so this is a fitness sports facility. It is located right back here on 56th Street on the corner of Northwest 82nd Avenue, and it's approximately 0.86 acres. The land use around it and the zoning districts are pretty much all industrial districts and future land use categories. These are a couple of renderings of the proposal. Pursuant to 58-3-128, a special exception is required for this use in the location, and they're coming in for site plan approval as well. So you can see that there are two pitches on the proposed site plan, accompanied by a facility, training facility in the back of the pitch. Currently, it's a vacant lot, so this will all be incorporated within that vacant lot. They went to workshop, as the mayor said, on March 25th. The site plan evaluation standards, we have compliance with all relevant standards, and the standards for the special exception, same, all are approved of the relevant ones. So with that, the staff recommends approval of the proposed special exception and approval of the site plan. I haven't seen the applicant. I don't know if the applicant's here.
I think they are
Yep, the applicant is here. If you have any further questions, or if I can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Magarizo. Would the applicant like to present or have any comments to add? You're not required to, but. I wish I could present the project, if not. We'll leave it up to our colleagues. Is there any comments or questions about this project?
Really like
The applicant? All right, I think you're good. Okay, if there's no more comments or questions, I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo, second by Councilwoman Reynoso. If there's no more debate, Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Motion to approve made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Porras? Vice Mayor Cabral?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. Move on to the next item.
Item 20B, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a site plan for 8300 Invest LLC for the property located at 8335 Northwest 56th Street in the city of Doral, Florida, pursuant to section 53-184F of the city's land development code and providing for an effective date.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and do public hearing first, Mr. Magrizo. Opening up public hearing for item 20B, also known as 26-6682. Anyone who would like to speak on this item and this item alone, please approach the podium. Showing no interest, I am closing the public hearing portion for this item. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect no one has chosen to speak at this time, and I will take any ex parte communication. Has there been any ex parte communication? No? All right. Mr. Magrizo?
The presentation. Okay, so this is known as Mediterranean Center 2. So they are here for site plan approval. It is located at 8335 Northwest 56th Street, and it is approximately 0.926 acres. They went to workshop on February 24th, 2025, I think, or 6. So this is pretty much located in a completely industrial district. All the surrounding areas, north, south, east, and west, have a future land use category of industrial, and they accompany a zoning district of industrial as well. This is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the land development code. These are the existing conditions as you see them now. It is located adjacent to what is known as Mediterranean 1. They're just building a pretty much mirror image of what is currently there on this vacant lot. Here's the site plan you see. Like I said, it's approximately 1 acre. It's going to have a modern architectural design for warehouse buildings with 24 parking spaces, landscaping, bicycle areas. These are elevations from the east and the west and the south and the north. The site plan evaluation standards complies with all relevant site plan evaluation standards, and the staff is recommending approval of the proposed site plan. If you have any further questions, I'm happy to answer it at this time.
Okay. Is the applicant present wanting to make any comments? It's not required, but if you're present, okay. If there's any questions for the applicant or for Mr. Magrizo, now would be your time. If there's no comments or questions or debate, I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilwoman Reynoso,
Second.
second by Councilman Pinedo. No more comments or questions. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve made by Councilwoman Reynoso, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilman Porras?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cabral?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much. We move on to the next item.
Item 20C, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a site plan for Sedeco 41 LLC for a commercial development featuring a pharmacy, retail storefronts, and a gas station with an associated convenience store on a plus or minus 7.57 acre vacant parcel generally located on Northwest 41st Street between Northwest 114th and 112th Avenue in the city of Doral, Florida, identified with Miami-Dade folio number 353019-001-0370 pursuant to section 53-184F of the city's land development code and providing for an effective date.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. We're gonna go ahead and open public comments for item 20C, also known as 26-6693. Anyone who would like to speak on this item or this item alone, please approach the podium. Please remember that the 3 minutes do apply for the public hearing items as well. State your name and address for the record.
Yes, good evening. My name is Orieta Carvalho. My address 11360 Northwest 42nd Terrace in Doral. And I'm opposing about having a gas station and a big convenience store there. I'm not against about development, but I would prefer like office or something more low impact for the community. I've been living there since 1997. I do have a lot of health issues, and having a gas station, the fume, the smell, and the noise is giving you more stress. Sorry. And then I did my research behind the Navarro, and you can smell the odors. I have photo of those big dumped garbage can, and that will bring more rodent rats coming over to our community. And we have our townhouses, which the master bedroom will be facing the community. Even if they want to do 20 feet, like how you say that, 20 feet
Trees.
trees, it will not be enough. They need to have big walls, and what we're going to be seeing are garbage can, and then the gasoline. They're going to be open 24 hours. We have the turnpike, people going north and south. There's going to be a busy place. We get already a lot of traffic on 41 and 114 and 112 because there's a school there. So I don't know if when they did the measuring was during no school time or after traffic time. So I request the city to do the inspection to see how bad the traffic is there a lot of the time, and people trying to cut to go faster. And no, another thing is our community has a lot of children. We have the pool, we be facing to that side. So the safety, there's so much concern, and I'm opposed of that, and have the city to do the inspection about the smell in the garbage cans. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else who would like to speak, please approach the podium.
Good evening. My name is Werner von Blon. I'm at 11244 Northwest 42nd Terrace in Doral, the Hawks Nest community there. Just picking up on the point of the previous speaker, right now the understanding is that they want to put a chain link fence between ourselves and the new development. So from what I've seen along 41st Street, there's walls behind each commercial center that's developed. So I would ask the developers to look at that, and for yourselves to, let's say, put some interest in putting a wall versus that. It also addresses the issues of rodents and so on versus a chain link fence. It's generally understood that the owner or the owners of the property can develop that. That's well understood. But there will be a large impact on traffic. Now, I'm not sure when they're doing the studies, they're taking into account the huge complex that's been built on the other side of 41st Street, which is basically vacant right now. So once that's developed, we're going to have that additional traffic moving through that, specifically 112th and 41st Street. The entrance to the gasoline station, one entrance. So let's say vehicles coming on 112th heading north will have to make a turn and have to go across 3 lanes to take the right into the gasoline station. So that corner's had a lot of accidents in the past. Maybe look at that history as well with additional traffic, with the additional street lanes going through, would be something of interest in your studies. Yeah, nobody wants a gasoline station next to the community. So that's speaking for the community, that's kind of understood there. Car washes, timing of deliveries of gasoline and all that will be of interest for us as far as trying to mitigate the timing of that, if it's late night and so on. If there's a gas station, if it's placed near the back towards where the community is, that'll be heard constantly. Having talked a little bit to the lawyers of the developers, they have mentioned the tree covers and bushes, et cetera, et cetera. That seems ample. Hopefully the trees do grow up to 20, 30 feet. And the bushes as well, but we would like to see the wall. Again, it's not something you don't see throughout Doral as far as the 41st Street commercial development. And thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? This is the only reasonable opportunity for this item. So if you'd like to speak, please come up to the podium.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. My name is Richard Rios. I'm a resident of Doral since 1997. They used to have horses going by that area. And adding to the comments from the other residents, we understand that, yes, there is authority to, or, zoning for a commercial location. We would like to see some type of mitigation, particularly regards to noise. Like if the car wash is located towards the rear, then if there was some type of limitation like hours, because car washes, especially when they're blow drying the cars, are very loud. The other areas of concern would be any type of traffic going northbound from 41st Street up to 112. We have an exit in our community on 112 Avenue. And if cars are making a left turn to go into the gas station while we're coming out, there was one resident here who almost had an accident recently when she was leaving our community, and there was a truck barreling down 112th Avenue. So we'd like to see some type of maybe agreements like with code enforcement that we would have some sort of guarantees as far as no late night deliveries, overnight deliveries, any type of like big gas trucks coming in at odd hours of the night. We understand that, yes, there's a business, there's going to be a 24-hour convenience store. Hopefully they won't have that much traffic, but during the day, it's a concern for us. And we hope that you'll look into that, or at least be able to come to some agreement, maybe have us included in some future discussions with the developers on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak?
Good afternoon, Mayor. Good afternoon. My name is Maria Pezos. I am a resident of Doral since 2004 and a resident of Hognes at Doral, 4227 Northwest 112th Court, since 2006. My major concern is the health of our community, of our children, of all our Hognes community. I'm going to read why the gasoline component warrants a special scrutiny. It says, gasoline is a source of benzene and other air pollutants. ATSDR states that benzene is released to the environment through the operation of gasoline stations and that people may be exposed by breathing contaminated air around gasoline stations. ATSDR also explains that long-term benzene exposure can affect blood cells and bone marrow and can cause bone marrow cancers, including acute leukemia. ATSDR notes that the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the U.S. EPA classify benzene as a known human carcinogen. EPA likewise regulates benzene as a mobile source of air toxic and notes that gasoline contains benzene. EPA identifies benzene and other hydrocarbons among air pollutants associated with gasoline and vehicle emissions. Also, a gasoline station creates multiple potential emission points. Vehicle fueling and displacement of gasoline vapors during the refueling, underground storage tanks and their vent pipes, bulk fuel delivery operations including tanker trunk unloading and field connections, equipment leaks, spills, and losses, additional vehicle traffic associated with the use. EPA also recognizes petroleum vapor intrusion as a pathway in which vapors from petroleum hydrocarbons, such as gasoline, can mitigate from subsurface sources into buildings, creating potential safety and health concerns. This does not mean vapor intrusion will occur at this site. It is a recognized pathway that supports careful siting, monitoring, and leak prevention. So this is my main concern. Obviously, traffic and all the other things we've stated. And if the gas station is already been approved, at least we need to, as a community, we would like to be informed of, or at least taking into account of where are they gonna place it. Because on 114th Avenue, we have a lake, so maybe that would be the best place for it to be, but that's my main concern. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to speak?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Ileana Cernuda. I also lived in Doral.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Súbelo, there you go.
I'm also a resident of Doral, 11220 Northwest 42nd Terrace.
Your name, I'm sorry, again, because we couldn't hear you.
Iliana Cernuda. I would be exactly behind of the proposed service station, gas station. So in addition to all of the other residents' concerns and the gas, I believe that if it has to be another gas station, because then you would be placing, there's one in 109th and 107th. So I would think that it would be better to have it on 114th Avenue, as my previous resident said, because it would be, the back part would be on the lake instead of directly behind my house. And I'm deeply concerned about all the rest. The noise, the gas, the traffic, but we understand that, as you said, that they have the right to do it. So if they at least could put the place in 114th, you already have two other gas stations on 109th and 107th. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Good evening. Sorry que I speak Portuguese in English. I make my, English no, Portuguese, Spanish. I make my best no English, okay? My name is Miriam Goncalves. I live in 1997 in Ragnest. I am a resident and a member of this community. We are not against development or progress, but I am concerned about in the direct impact on your community, especially traffic, safety, tranquility, and quality of life. We want to make sure that the residents concerned are heard and carefully considered before a final decision is made. We are not here to create confrontation. We are here to cooperate, work together. We respectful, I don't know se o respectful está correto, ask the city and everyone involved in this project to consider the families who already live in this community. You believe that development and the quality of life can coexist when there is responsibility planning. We are not against progress. We are asking for responsibly developing in respect to the safety, tranquility, and quality of life of your community. This is community the Haganest. Everybody can stay here, everybody put a vote for us. Please, can you help the Haganest at Doral? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Any other comments at this time?
Hi, good evening. My name is Seda Tinoco. I live in
Please get a little bit closer to the microphone so that we can hear
There you go.
clearly.
Now?
Yes, thank
My
you.
name is Seda Tinoco. I live in 11261 Northwest in Hackness since 20 years ago. I just retired from Virginia B. Thomas after 25 years of working there. My concern is about the same of my people that we live in the same complex, but more is about the pedestrians. And I see the traffic now they opened the 112, and how it's so difficult to cross, just to walk and pass by the 41st Street. It's terrible. I mean, I'm as an adult, I have to be really, really careful. And after 25 years seeing the kids, I mean, after dismissal, trying to buy and crossing and buy to McDonald's or going just passing by to street, it's really difficult to see them and the buses and all that. My concern is about the children, how they're going to be safe. I mean, having a gas station in one corner and a building in the other one, and Navarro in the middle one, and then the new development that is, I mean, by the way, it's really nice. It's really nice, and believe me, I love my city. It was like Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Doral is a pleasure to live in. It's really nice, but I mean, I think that is a point where it's the progress and the development is a conflict with the people that we live here, that we're residents. We're not in any business. We live in the city. And that's what I'm thinking about, the children, how they're going to pass by, how the kids, the middle ones, the kids that are coming from middle school, that those groups of children that are going and passing from McDonald's or going to any, now that we have, I mean, Whole Foods and all the coffees and all the places, it's really difficult to cross, to pass that 112. And 41st is really hectic. The traffic is like you are risking your life every time that you want to passing by. At afternoons, I try to walk by, and because it's really nice, but it's really difficult to pass it. My concern, besides all that my neighbors are expressing, is the safety. I don't want to see any accident regarding any children passing by. And that's my concern, having a gas station, how they're gonna cross. If I'm an adult that now there's no gas station there, it's hard for me to pass. And I'm an adult. How are children, they're gonna, I mean, the teenagers, they're gonna pass this, and there's a school right there. It's a charter school. And the
Thank you,
traffic
ma'am.
right there is terrible. Well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much. Any additional comments?
Good evening. My name is Jorge Mauricio Salas. I have been resident of Doral for the last,
Address, please.
sorry,
Address for the record.
4267 Northwest 112th Court, Doral, Florida 33178. Of my fellows here, residents, we are just concerned with the health issues that can be aroused from the development of the gas station. We understand that the progress is good for everyone, but we're just concerned about the health of our kids, our community. Just a few months ago, the new project for the warehouses in front was finished, and we have been dealing with our own noise. And now with the gas station, it's not only going to be noise, but health concerns. So we really are against that project. And if you can help us out, that will be really great. Thank you.
All right, any other comments or questions? All right, being no more public comments, we will close the public comments portion, and we will hear from our staff and then the applicant.
Okay, so this is a site plan coming forward from Sedeco 41 LLC. It is in a commercial corridor, commercial retail plaza, and it is located on 41st Street and is bound by Northwest 114th Avenue and Northwest 112th Avenue to the east and the west. It is approximately 7.5 acres, and it was went to workshop in June of 2025. So the surrounding land, it is a vacant land, and it's pretty landscaped. To the north, you have multifamily residential, and to the south, you have office buildings. The east is vacant, and to the west, you have a retail outlet, which is where the current Navarro currently sits. These are the existing views of how it looks currently. And these are the renderings that are going to be on the site If you can see the site plan at the bottom, we have two anchors. On the west, you have the Navarro with the parking in the back and to the side. On the east side, you have the other anchor, which is going to be the gas station. And in between the two anchors, you have a commercial retail component with multiple shops with parking to the rear of the property. So this was determined by the Doral Master Plan Boulevard, and where it says that you cannot have any parking fronting the Doral Boulevard. So all the parking will be to the back. Along Doral Boulevard, you'll have a 35-foot setback with landscaping and pedestrian path with benches, bike racks, and trash receptacles. This project is in compliance with all of our site plan evaluation standards that are applicable, and based on that, staff is recommending approval of the site plan. With that, I am here to answer any questions that you may have, and I think Melissa is also here.
Thank you, Mr. Margarizo. Ms. Tapanes?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, honorable council members. My name is Melissa Tapanes with law offices at 200 South Biscayne Boulevard, Miami. I do have a presentation, Ms. Diaz, if you'll play it. Let's see, do I get? Oh, thank you. Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you. So the property is 7.5 acres located on Doral Boulevard, just between 112th Avenue and 114th Avenue. I should mention before I get started that I'm joined here by Marcos Puentes with the applicant, our architect Terry Runyon, our traffic engineer Natalia Licari, and my colleagues Rob Alvarez and Tom Robertson. In case we have any specific questions, I'll submit that we have expert witnesses to add to any of the substantial competent evidence in the record. So we're here today seeking site plan approval. This property is vacant. It consists of poor quality wetlands of mostly invasive species. And we're here to request the site plan approval to allow for neighborhood serving commercial development fully in compliance with the city code. We're pleased to have worked with and collaborated with both the community as well as your professional staff who is recommending in favor of this application. So the criteria for approval of site plans include consistency with the comprehensive plan, compatibility with the surrounding corridor, high quality site design, traffic access, circulation, and very importantly, health, safety, and welfare. The property is designated as business in the land use comprehensive plan, as well as commercial corridor in your zoning code, and has the overlay of the Doral Boulevard master plan. These allow for the full mixed-use development, and you can see that the Doral Boulevard context from the Florida Turnpike to our east has your hotel uses, your mixed uses, your commercial uses, as well as gas stations, automotive uses, and of course the new bridge industrial site to our south. What we're proposing are neighborhood serving uses, including the relocation of the existing Navarro Pharmacy that is on the south side of Doral Boulevard, as well as about 27,000 square feet of neighborhood serving retail storefronts and a Shell gasoline station that will be developed by Sunshine, which is a Doral business. The proposal includes a high-quality design. Specifically, the development includes that 15,000 square foot Navarro, as well as that 27,000 square foot commercial. The convenience store is only 3,000 square feet, and the canopied area of the Shell gas station is about 7,900 square feet. Very importantly, there is no car wash at the site. And the hours of operation are consistent with that of the Doral Boulevard. The Doral Boulevard Master Plan proposes significant restrictions and encourages urban design along the boulevard. Specifically, this project complies and provides specifically with stuccoed concrete block and horizontal wood slats along the Doral Boulevard to cover the 13 parking spaces, and the remainder is open plazas, both in the central focal courtyard along the commercial storefronts, as well as plazas along 112th Avenue. You can see here that the Doral Boulevard Master Plan provides for 10 feet of front buffering, and we're providing 25 feet. Onto the proposed site plan and specific access and circulation. The Navarro Pharmacy is at the corner of 114th and Doral Boulevard. There is a drive-through with limited hours of operation, so we have placed it on 114th Avenue in order to be part of the open space feature to the rear of the property in the Hawks Nest community. You can see that based on the mayor's and other council members' comments, we have worked with CVS and modified the color scheme of the Navarro Pharmacy to provide for the traditional brand Bahamian yellow only as an accent feature, and to be more compatible with the surrounding Doral Boulevard color schemes. As it relates to the proposed site plan and specifically the 27,000 square feet of new retail storefronts, there is a central courtyard, perfect for outdoor dining of food and beverage opportunities. And the Shell gas station notably does not have a car wash. Very important, there is no left in or left out on either 112th Avenue or 114th Avenue. This plan provides for specific 35% open space where only 17% is required. Notably, the commercial corridor zoning district allows for up to 6 stories of height, 0.5 FAR, as well as 50% lot coverage, and again, only 17% open space. The front setback required is 20 feet. We're providing over 25 feet, and the rear setback minimum is 15 feet, and we're providing not only a 20-foot buffer yard, but we'll show you in detail how our rear setback is from 90 to 140 feet. But before we get there, gas station, I understand that that is a concern of the community. So we have gone through the Miami-Dade County Environmental Resource Management process, specifically appearing before the county's Environmental Quality Control Board, and they found that the establishment of the proposed gas station will not be detrimental to the public health, welfare, and safety, will not create a nuisance, and will not materially increase the level of pollution in the overall county. The conditions for the gas station are those that are consistent with federal, state, and local regulations. The fuel systems will incorporate multiple state-of-the-art safety measures, including double wall tanks and piping, spill containment systems, overfill protection, leak detection, and continuous monitoring. Employees will be required to complete all necessary training to become underground storage Class C operators and maintain certification through the compliance courses. This gas station, as I mentioned, will be developed by a Sunshine, which is headquartered here in the city of Doral and owns and operates numerous gas stations throughout the city and Miami-Dade County. Most importantly, before any installation and the operation of this gas station, and specifically the storage tanks, the county must approve all engineering plans demonstrating compliance with all environmental regulations. That, of course, is in addition to the City of Doral Building Department, City of Miami-Dade County Fire Department, as they review these plans and, of course, enforce these plans into the future. The gas station use is allowed as of right within the zoning district. The property fronts on Northwest 41st Street, which is an arterial roadway. It's designed and constructed in full compliance with the city's fire prevention code. The attendant control area will have clear visibility to all pumps with no attraction signs on the windows in compliance with Doral regulations dealing with aesthetics. We're providing over the minimum required parking spaces at the gas station, and it meets the minimum building square footage and all applicable land development regulations. We went through both the city of Doral and the Miami-Dade County traffic engineering process. All of the site's 4 driveway connections are expected to operate at level of service A. The development of this site will continue the city's overall level of service standards. There will be no changes, and the queues are generally consistent with all background conditions as they exist today. The projected traffic pattern reflects just the commercial developments designed to serve the immediate neighborhood and passerbys. The pharmacy will provide sufficient on-site stacking for vehicles, and that has been reviewed by both county traffic engineering as well as the city of Doral. As part of our traffic analysis, we've been asked to implement the City of Doral's master plan, which provides for notably dedicated right turn lanes into the property. The site proposes and is required to provide 3, one on 114th Avenue that will be right in, right out only, no left turns. We are also providing an exclusive right turn lane on entering both the Navarro entrance as well as the gas station entrance. And again, the retail storefronts are in the center. I'll go through these in a little bit more detail. We're also relocating the Doral trolley stop to 41st Street from 114th Avenue. It will be upgraded with the modern shelter for enhanced transit access and rider convenience. We're also installing special emphasis marked crosswalks to create a pedestrian safety along 112th and 114th Avenues. In addition, we are improving the Doral Boulevard right-of-way by not only by dedicating private land for those exclusive right turn lanes, but we're also increasing the storage to accommodate more vehicles as they travel eastbound and make lefts at 109th Avenue. The 112th and 114th intersections are fully built out, with the exception that the site to our east is currently vacant, and we'll be dedicating additional right-of-way, just like we are dedicating right-of-way towards 112th Avenue and likely on 41st Street as well. I mentioned the exclusive right turn lanes. There are 3. And we think that this slide is very important as we work to provide the highest quality design and consistent with Doral aesthetics. We did not build a 6-story building only 15 feet of setback. We have planned for a 20-foot buffer yard that will be of dense vegetation and trees. We'll get into those details, but most importantly, in extending that 15-foot rear setback, we are extending it at the Navarro site to over 90 feet. That building is approximately 30 feet to the parapet, and along the gas station, it is over 140 feet, and that height is 19 feet. The buffer yard is over 6,000 square feet of landscape planting areas. We had it proposed as the same treatment as Hawk's Nest, which is a green chain link fence and cocoa plum shrubs. We are creating a full buffer utilizing buttonwood trees at 14 feet at the time of planting. We were able to be at the Hawks Nest site and be able to see exactly what that height would be, which is over the one-story buildings, which are about 10 to 12 feet, and these are at 14 feet. We're also including as specimen trees for both color and aesthetics, Queen's crepe myrtle trees as focal points throughout the buffer yard, as well as 6-foot tall pitch apple trees. We understand that there has been some discussion as to a 6-foot concrete masonry wall or panel system. We are open for the council to choose what kind of feature they would like. Our initial discussions were that we would match Hawks Nest, but again, we leave that up to the will of the council. Regarding impact fees, this project will generate over $2.1 million in impact fees, notably over almost $1.2 million to the Doral road impact fee specifically. The goal is that in addition to us this project not impacting the level of service, and creating additional right-of-way improvements and dedicating additional right-of-way for the public good, we are also contributing to the future traffic impact of this project and the other projects along Doral Boulevard through that Doral City Road Impact Fee. We had the opportunity to meet Mr. Rios at the City of Doral workshop. We followed up with a virtual meeting where we had about over 20 residents from Hawks Nest. We took their comments. We did our very best to address their concerns and comments. They asked for an in-person meeting, which we had on Monday. It was very hot. Their clubhouse did not have power, so we had a good time by their pool. Enjoying a very breezy afternoon. We were able to answer many of their questions and want to continue our relationship as good neighbors, as we're committed to continue to work with them, not only through this entitlement and permitting process, but most importantly through construction and as we coexist as neighbors. So I did want to mention also the vehicular trips, since that was brought up as far as traffic goes. Specifically, our project, you can see on the screen the AM and PM vehicle trips. Some mentioned, you could build an office. Well, a medical office at this site is 90,000 square feet versus our site, which is significantly less than that. And you can see that the traffic associated with an office building, even just a couple of fast food restaurants, a coffee shop with a drive-through, you can see that the traffic is significantly more than the neighborhood serving retail that the project proposes. And I think that is all for my presentation. I'm available for any questions, as is our team. And we thank you and the neighbors for meeting with us and continuing to work with us on this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tapinas. All right. I need to ask for ex parte communication, and then we can open up to questions, comments, and debate. Yes, Councilman.
Met with the applicant, but it won't affect my decision.
Okay, thank you very much.
Same.
Thank you. Councilwoman.
Mayor, yes, same. Ex parte won't affect my decision.
And same here.
Okay, thank you very much. I also had communications not just with the residents, but with the applicant, and will not affect the outcome of my decision. All right, we can go ahead and open up to any questions or comments from the council at this time.
Okay, I have a few through the mayor.
Yes, Councilwoman Reynoso.
Okay, I have a question for the applicant. After listening to the residents' concerns, I want to address this. I didn't see it this way when I first met with the applicant, so I want to see what the thought process behind this was. We have lot 1 to the west, and we have lot 3 to the east. Is there a reason why that wasn't considered to put the gas station more towards the west and maybe switch the Navarro property with the gas station?
There were several thoughts as part of that decision-making. First, the Navarro Pharmacy already exists across the street, so for existing patrons, we wanted to keep it as close as possible. But I think most importantly, there is the only drive-through associated with the entire site plan is at the Navarro, and you can see through, if I can go back to the aerial, just to the north at Hawks Nest, that's where you would have, you can see it here, let's see. The Hawks Nest has its entrance feature, which includes a stormwater retention pond. And our thought was that the neighbors would prefer to be buffered by the drive-through from in that direction. So that was the choice. I'm just going through the aerials so you can see. I guess you can see it best. Right here, you can see it. So on 114th Avenue, where the Navarro is located, you can see that Hawks Nest has their entrance feature and stormwater retention ponds. So when we were thinking about queuing and having that pharmacy, that made the most sense to us for placement. Also, the Navarro Pharmacy is, as I mentioned, 30 feet tall to the parapet, which is more equivalent to their two-story townhomes, which are usually about 30 to 35 feet. And the gas station is, the Navarro is 90 feet away, whereas the gas station is 140 feet away and is only a 19-foot in height to the canopy. The convenience store is even lower and only 3,000 square feet. So what we were trying to do was ensure that the least amount of construction and the largest setback would be where the neighbors were, which is at the center of the site as well as the gas station parcel.
Okay, and then my next question is, let's see. I see the buffer, and that's been intentional to keep the most distance apart from the property and the residents. I would like to discuss the possibility of having a stone wall versus the chain link. Hearing the residents today, the same. Concrete. I'm sorry, the concrete wall versus a chain link. I believe there's more privacy, more protection to them, and if that's something that could be discussed.
We are open to the council's will and happy to make any of the reasonable concessions, including a 6-foot wall at the location. And we just want to be sure that Hawks Nest understands that they have a chain link fence and our wall will be against it. So we won't be able to maintain necessarily their side of the wall, but we can continue having communications through the process as well as once the property is fully developed to make sure that that wall is maintained on their side as well.
Okay. I mean, other than these two questions, which again have been brought through our residents, which I appreciate their input, I think the project is thoughtful towards the community, and there are property rights that we need to respect from both parties. Those are my questions for now.
Thank you.
I have some comments, Mayor.
Councilwoman Porras.
Thank you. I'm also in agreement with my colleague. Well, first of all, I want to thank the residents. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for coming. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of organizing, but obviously you're showing that you really care about your community. Many of you have been living there over 2 decades. And so, it's always unfortunate when we have these cases because we're faced with a community that wants to protect their residents and their people, and then you're also dealing with property owners, right? And so the best way to really balance it is, what's happening now. And I do want to thank the applicant, Melissa. She's someone I truly do respect. Thank you for, having those conversations with the residents and getting their feedback. And that's really the point where we both converge, right? The residents and the owners, and we try to negotiate, we try to come to an agreement. And I think that, as my colleague Councilman Reynoso mentioned, we heard from you guys right now the two things that were just mentioned. I know that I would be in agreement with making sure that there is a concrete wall, if that's what the residents desire. The other thing is, as far as the gas station, I know that it was taken into consideration and there was an evaluation done on different things, but is it still a possibility, something that you can consider moving it to the other side where there's a lake? It sounds like the residents believe that's where it would have the least impact, right? Let me see. Yeah, and I mean, it sounds like the gas station's not gonna have a car wash, right?
No car wash,
Okay,
correct.
because I think I had heard that previously
I think they
from-
were very concerned about the car wash, but now seeing that it's 140 feet, the concern is moving the Navarro and then having the queuing for the pharmacy at the rear at a lesser setback. We've already gone through the Miami-Dade County Durham process for this site, and we would respectfully ask for it to be preserved at this location, since all the fire, county traffic, city traffic is all accommodated for that location.
And just to know, would it be completely detrimental and a big delay to reevaluate that and look at the position of the gas station even?
It has been evaluated, and this is the best location for it as it relates to traffic, environmental, as well as the distance from the rear property line.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think those were the two, and again, personally, if I were living there, I would also want the gas station on the other side as well. I mean, I don't know when discussions took place or when, the meeting with the residents happened, whether it was before the site plan was, done or after, but that would have been something, that I would have also suggested as well. But okay, that's all the questions I have.
Councilman Pinedo?
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I also want to thank the residents because as we just heard, it is important. It is important for you guys to get engaged, to participate. I know we're talking about your community. It's next door to this property. So the fact that you're here is not only because you care about your community, but you also care about the city as well. So I want to thank you for being here and for raising your voice, because at the end of the day, in my case, I always try to do what is best for the residents and for the community as well. To the applicant, thank you so much for your time. I know that we have been discussing these different occasions. Just for educational component or learning process, especially for not only for the residents that are here, but overall. Looking at this particular site, can you tell us what other type of project can be built on this particular site other than the one that you're proposing?
Absolutely. As we mentioned in our presentation, what you're allowed to do is 50% lot coverage, which is significant, 6 stories of height, uses, all commercial office uses, hotel uses, automotive uses, etc.
The reason why I ask you the question, and I have mentioned it to you before, is because, and I want for the residents to understand this as well, when we make these type of decisions, at least in my case, I always try to go with what is going to be the best for the city and for the residents. So obviously having a hotel right behind the property, I will say no. Well, you have the right to do it, but I will say no. But even with this particular project, that I'm 100% satisfied, of course, I like to always to listen to the residents, and I have to say no, but I always going to look for the best interest of the city and the residents as well. So my point, especially to the residents that are here, is that know that this particular proposal or site plan that you're looking at so far is the best that we can have for this particular section. Again, that I like it 100%, you know, I mean, I'm honest. It's not. I mean, it's not 100%. But it's going to be the best of what we have so far, especially in that particular area. The concerns that the residents have, you know, and I agree with Councilwoman Reynoso as well, if the wall is something that they ask for, I know you already say yes, so absolutely I'll be in favor of that. But I think it's important to understand, even if we say no, and I'm going to ask this to my city attorney, even if we say no to the gas station as part of this project, what will be the consequences?
Through the mayor, councilman, the issue is the applicant has a property right and to be able to build whatever the area is zoned for. And as she stated, they can build a hotel, they can build an office building 6 feet, they can build entertainment establishments, they can build a whole host. It's within our commercial corridor section of the city. So if we were to decide today that a hard no on the gas, then we might be exposing the city to some litigation. Why? Because that gas station produces a certain amount of money, it's a certain use that is a benefit to the landowner, and by us saying no, then that could be perceived as a possible taking of their rights on the property. Of course, we would defend that vigorously, but it could happen.
Thank you. And again, the reason
You
why
know I
asked
like
this-
sparring with
Yeah,
you,
hopefully.
Lorenzo.
But the reason why I ask these questions is especially for the residents to understand when we make or when I make a decision is based on what is actually best for us as a city overall. I mean, I don't take it slightly. I obviously always like to listen from legal. But again, out of all the options, certainly this is the one that it makes sense. Let's put it that way. Now, I just want to clarify a few points that were actually brought up because since we have the residents here. When we speak about our children, and I heard about the school across the street, right now finally we have traffic lights at 112, 109. We didn't have traffic lights before in those particular sections. When we speak about safety, we have our police officers here. We have a great police department, by the way. We have the lowest crime rate in Miami-Dade County as a city, so we should be proud of our police department, which I know we are. But I just want to leave it on the record because these are things that sometimes are not actually mentioned when we talk about safety, for example. Traffic, it's a reality that we're all facing. Unfortunately, unfortunately for some, fortunately for businesses, we have over 120,000 vehicles Monday through Friday coming, passing Doral, coming to work. So we have a lot of cars Monday through Friday that obviously having this particular project or adding this project to Doral Boulevard at this point is not going to make any other difference since we already have 120,000 vehicles coming into the city every day. So the city is growing. I mean, we're thinking about the city, the future. We're thinking about our children when we make, at least as a father, when I make these decisions. And when we speak about quality of life, I certainly rather to have something like this than a hotel or a medical building right behind this community. So I just wanted to mention those comments. And I also heard about rats behind one of the shopping centers. If that happens, now that we know, I'm sure the city manager heard that. So code compliance will be there tomorrow morning, I guess. So because I hope that's not the case, by the way. But because we take this very seriously. But I want to, again, and to conclude my comments, I just want to make sure that residents understand that when we make these decisions is thinking about everything that was mentioned, quality of life, traffic, safety, and certainly the future of our city. So I just want to thank the residents once again. the applicant, thank you for listening to the residents. And hopefully this is something that it will move forward with the residents' satisfaction. And again, it's not going to be 100%. Because in my case, it's not 100%. I'm sure in your case, it's not going to be 100%. But hopefully we can make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may.
Yes, Vice Mayor Cabral.
Thank you for the presentation and for explaining the changes and that you have implemented after meeting with the residents, and also reflecting that only 40% compared to the 50% that is the maximum that can be permit by code, and also the setback on the property. I do also understand as a resident, and I know many of them for many years that they lived there for over 2 decades, that it will be a great impact for them, an area that is being vacant for so many years, and an area that is going to turn from being an empty lot into a commercial one. And I also understand that many of them rather, even though you explain about the impact of having something residential, than having something commercial, moving along the day and part of the night too. That for them is a disruption for what they already have, or having a residential there. I really would like to see, but you explained already that it cannot be, and having it set on the other side, because that area, I know the area very well. So having on the other side, just for them to the traffic coming in and out from the community will make a difference. So that's the part that I'm disappointed that it cannot be accomplished, because that will make a less impact on them at the time that they are going to return or coming out from their communities, their community during the day. So that's all that I have to say really about the project. I do understand the rights that it has, but I also understand the impact on the day-to-day, on the quality of life of them as a residents of the city for over 2 decades, before the city was even incorporated.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So, thank you. So I have a couple of comments and questions. And first, I also want to thank the residents for coming out, and I actually joined the first Zoom meeting that you all had. I was there for a little while because I had something to get to as well, and heard some of it, and just wanted to hear the concerns from the residents. I did respond to the emails that I received, and I actually responded to all of you that signed the petition today. And so I thank you for your involvement and your input. I think it's really valid when we have the opportunity to listen to it. I also want to put on the record that as elected officials, we have a responsibility to protect the interests and quality of life of our residents, while also respecting the legal property rights of those who own and develop land in our city. The council cannot deny or otherwise permitted uses solely because there's opposition to it. Actually, there's laws that completely protect the landowners from that. At the same time, a property owner's rights to develop does not exempt them or a project from the city's requirements or from rigorous standards intended to protect the surrounding communities. And I believe that that's what our code does. And so I want to address some of those comments because I heard them here today. And so I have many notes and questions that I'd like to ask, and I am going to ask to go back to the site plan for a second. And I heard the comments and concerns of where the gas station is located, and I know that the request has already been made to potentially look at the changes to that, and I know it's very late to do that at this point. This project, before getting here, has to go through several departments, state, especially when you're talking about a gas station and building things that have a lot of oversight, because there is state, federal, and local agencies that will look at the compliance for something like a gas station. So I think it is unreasonable at this time to go back and say, redo your entire site plan. I also understand the process that's put into place when looking at a site plan and the best way to meet concurrencies and circulation of the property and all of that. And so I'd like to go back to the site plan to point out a couple of things and see if there is any abilities to, if there's room for improvements, that we look at those and addressing some of those concerns. So to my understanding,
If I may, one thing about the gas station location is that, as was mentioned, the 114th is the main entrance to Hawks Nest. So the idea that anybody would want a gas station at their main entrance just seems a little irrational.
yes,
you know.
and I want to also ask, because I didn't see it when I saw the photo with the Hawks Nest and the site plan, is there an exit of Hawks Nest on 112th?
Yes.
There is an exit.
That's the secondary.
Is there an
that's the
entrance
sec-
there as well?
Yes, that's
there
the
is- it's the
secondary, the
second
main
entrance and
entrance,
exit.
correct.
Okay.
So the idea being that a gas station wouldn't be at the main entrance where they have their landscape.
So I'm assuming one of the main reasons this was considered, after listening to some of the input that you made and that your experts look at when developing a site plan, is the line of sight of the building for the pharmacy for Navarro is higher than the gas station. So if we're concerned about building and from second stories, trees being higher so that you can see, putting a higher line of sight on an area that doesn't have homes directly behind it, where there's a water and a buffer, makes sense to the experts, right? And to the engineers, which is what they've done. They put your highest line of sight on the section that doesn't have a direct line of sight from your second homes. So I understand that coming from the architects and the engineers that are looking at, and we look at that too when when staff is looking at that, when they are developing this. By the way, just to understand this process, while they're going to Miami-Dade and state and all these things that have to get done for these approvals, DERM, it's also going through our departments, and it goes back and forth with comments to make sure that they're meeting our master Doral Boulevard plan, that they're meeting our codes, our setbacks, which I'm grateful that your setbacks are triple what we're required by code. I think that that's very intentional, because you want to be good neighbors. Now, understanding that this will have a drive-through, as the Navarro will, I'd like to understand where that drive-through goes through, and can you explain to me the flow of traffic for the property? Because I think that also makes a big point to why the Navarro is where it is and the gas station is where it is. Because the connectivity is also important for that flow and the stacking.
Absolutely. So you can see here the traffic improvements. There is an exclusive right turn lane into the Navarro pharmacy from the rear that's only right in, right out, as well as the entrance, the exclusive right turn that's marked as number 2, where anyone coming westbound on 41st Street would enter the Navarro site. At that entrance is where they would enter going through the site. So the actual drive-through area is to the rear of that site. So it goes from right to into the site. So right in from 114th out through the westbound.
So the stacking for the drive-through, which is on the rear of the
Correct.
Navarro, correct?
Yes.
Can you zoom
Let me
in on
see
the
if I
Navarro
can-
one?
but
I think
I'm
you
gonna
have
zoom in. Yeah, I've got a better one.
Sorry, that was the gas station.
Oh,
That one.
there we go.
So the stacking comes from the east to west.
Correct.
And then they go back out and there's only right turn.
Correct.
So if you were to do that on the other side, you would have the problem
Exactly.
of the stacking
And the queuing.
over, right, and the queuing onto 112th.
Arguably, yes.
So
Internalize the site.
engineering wise, I think it would be very difficult unless you were like to stick it in the middle of the property, which would really disrupt.
Right. The goal is for the
and
Navarro
feel.
and the gas station to anchor the 27,000 square feet of food, beverage, neighborhood style uses. And that central courtyard is intended to be the outdoor dining associated with those food and beverage. And I can go to this site so you can see that there.
I did want to mention also, just as we're on the topic here, there was comments and concerns about, noise and odors and all these things. I want to reiterate that we have protections of quality of life for all of you on that. We have current code that protects for noise. If there's, we actually have even code that doesn't allow for dump trucks to come into residential areas to pick up trash at certain hours, so you don't hear the beeping of the trucks to back up into your areas at certain times. So all of those things are already built into our code to protect quality of life for our residents. So understand that there is protections built in, that if you run into these issues, you can call code compliance and they will be, and they will be enforced. I want to point out that just down the street, and look, we see this all the time, 2 gas stations in one corner, right? So I understand the theory of, why is there another gas station there? I can't answer. I don't own a gas station. I can only imagine the competition and so on and so forth. And so to my understanding, the operator of this is Sunshine Gas, which is not only a local resident, the family lives in Doral, but they also own they own several properties in Doral. They operate most of the gas stations in Doral, and their headquarters in Doral. So I know they will be thoughtful operators,
Call them.
and they're not going to want to cause issues. So I'm glad that there's no car wash, and I want to point out that there's no anticipated future car washes being put, and I'd like to make sure that that's stated here, because we did have a situation down the road where the gas station that was there later came and added a car wash, right? And the residents behind were very concerned that there would be noise, and we have had no noise complaints from them. I also want to point out that's a very similar situation in that lot, and I actually sent you all an email today with my own little site plan. I'm not an engineer, but I drew up my own little site plan and showed you all that this is very consistent. It's not only consistent throughout the county, consistent throughout our city. May not be what we absolutely love and think that is the best solution, and I understand some of us may not want to live near a gas station, but we already have this exact situation. So there's precedent set that a gas station is consistent near a residential community. As a matter of fact, the residential community that is behind the gas station is an apartment complex. So it's actually taller than what your homes are. We've never had complaints, to my understanding, for noise. They operate a car wash, and they're actually much closer. They have a much smaller setback than what they are proposing here for you all. And they don't have the buffering that you all have. So I don't think it's going to be as much of a nuisance as you're anticipating. I understand living by an area that was not developed for a very long time. We would all love, I miss the cows. Truly, I do, but we have to understand that it's just the progress, the natural progress and progression of our city. So it's very difficult for us to deny the progress that Doral is experiencing. We can do our best to protect the quality of life by enhancing our comprehensive plan, which is what you saw us do earlier today, that's going back to the state and continuing to make sure Doral evolves to be the place and protect its natural characteristics in our neighborhoods, which I think we've done very well. So, when I met with the applicant, I did see a lot of the intention put behind this, and making sure by putting mature vegetation. You don't see that from developers. They don't put mature vegetation. They put the bare minimum many times. So I do think that there was a lot of thought, and I do want to thank the developers for that. And they took back a lot of our feedback, understanding that you're going from a vacant land to a development. But I think that there will be, I think you'll be pleased to see that it won't be as harsh as it may seem. At the same time, understanding that there will be a difference and there will be an impact to the communities. And so I want to make sure all concurrencies have been met with traffic. When we look at traffic, it's not just what's captured on site. They also look at the surrounding properties, and that's why you see off-site improvements, not in front of their development, but down the road. Can you talk a little bit about the concurrencies and the traffic studies?
Natalia, go ahead. I'll have our traffic engineer. She's here.
Natalia Kari with Billman. So when we do the traffic studies, they were required to go out there and collect the existing traffic that's on the road. And so for this particular project, we looked at all the intersections all the way from the Turnpike to 107. So we go out there, we collect existing counts, the worst times of the day. So you're collecting in the morning rush hour when everyone goes to work, when the kids go to school. We collect it in the midday and in the afternoon when the most traffic is on the road. And to answer one of the resident questions, we did include all the committed developments that are in the surrounding area. So it included Bridgepoint, which is across from us, and 4 or 5 other developments that are not yet built, but that have been approved by the city. So all of that gets included in our study, and then we add our project on top of that, and we look at all those intersections.
And this also includes the improvements for pedestrian crosswalks.
Correct.
I heard earlier there's concerns. This is now a vacant land that'll have not only sidewalk built, so it creates connectivity, and there's now ability to walk safer, but it will include crosswalks.
It will. It include, by requirement by the city of Doral and Miami-Dade County, special emphasis crosswalks across our driveways. And I believe at 112 and 114 or 112, Bridgepoint is already upgrading that entire intersection, if not already, with special emphasis crosswalks and countdown.
And those crosswalks have the, where you can push for walking, and it'll have.
At the signalized intersection, yes. At the driveways where it's unsignalized,
Right, not the driveways,
no.
but
Yes.
I think the concern was the crossing of 41st
Yes,
Street.
of course. All of that is updated when they're updating 112 through now with Bridgepoint.
Right. Okay. So that is, if our staff wants to address this concern as well, we also look at the traffic analysis, right? Our team looks at, our public works look at the traffic analysis. We don't just take the applicant's traffic studies word for it. We also take a look at the impacts, from going from a vacant land to going to its uses and.
Yeah, absolutely. So it goes through county traffic, and then we have our own analysis within the city to determine whether or not it is viable for the city's purposes. There are comments that come back. We send the comments to the applicant, and the applicant addresses the comments that the city has, if any. So it's analyzed in the county and in the city.
Okay, perfect. I'm going through some of my notes because there was a lot of comments put, and so I want to make sure we address everything that the residents have stated. I'll go back just real quick before I close to the health concerns, right? The gas stations would not be allowed in a residential area if the transmissions, and I understand that there's, particles and things that are transmitted when there's gas. It's the same as our cell phones. We know our cell phones have radiation, and we still use them. We don't get rid of them. Our microwaves, we don't stop using microwaves because we know that there's radiation, and we're all impacted in different ways and impacts our lives. However, there is certain EPA standards, and if those standards are met and the safety measures are implemented, there's no opposition that can be stated for a legal sufficient argument that a gas station would not be allowed. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Have the residents put any legal sufficient evidence on the record that you feel that we would be able to?
The residents' testimony is something you need to weigh in conjunction with the presentation, everything that you've heard. There's nothing they've cited that would make me give the opinion that this is something we need to reconsider that is imminent danger to the health safety of the residents of Doral.
So to our staff that has recommended for approval, the applicant has met all legal requirements, concurrencies, and code requirements for our land use and comprehensive plan within its zoning and land use rights.
That is correct, Mayor.
Okay. All my questions have been answered. Again, I want to thank the residents for coming out. I know, it takes a lot to be out here and discussing. I know we all care about the community. I live right down the street. So we want to make sure that the best is being done for our community, and we try and work with these applicants as best as possible. And I want to thank them because they did incorporate the comments that I made in concerns to the property. And I do think that it has been done with all the thought process. It was not trying to shove sardines in a sardine can. There's a lot of open space, extra parking, which we're always concerned about. And there's always a push and a shove there with the developments, sufficient setbacks and landscaping. So with all that in mind, I'm satisfied with the responses and also the residents' concerns being met. I'm in favor of the wall if that is the will of the council, which I think we're all in favor of that. I believe does our code prohibit do you need something from us in addition to be able to allow the 6-foot wall?
So you can go up to 8 feet in the district between the buffer. So if Melissa wants to proffer specific footage right now to
Are we
proffer on the
okay with
record.
6 feet? Do we want 8 feet? Are we okay with, you want taller? So can we go to 8 feet? Are you all okay
I
with
would recommend 6 feet because when the site currently is undeveloped, so it will be filled because it's all
it's gonna
invasive
be higher.
wetlands. So my concern is you're gonna have a very tall wall, and what they have today is, I would say, like a 4 or 5 foot chain link fence with I think 6 foot pillars on their side. So an 8 foot fence would be double. It may not be as aesthetically pleasing as they may think. So I would suggest a 6 foot fence because once we elevate our site, that will be.
Do you think your elevation's gonna be 2 feet, 3 feet, once you fill?
4
3
feet,
feet?
we're being told.
Huh?
I'm being told 4 feet.
4 feet? 4
Yep.
feet, okay.
So I just think that, we should be careful with
So
that.
6, so we'll stay with 6 feet. Okay, I'm okay with the wall, with the concrete wall. The residents are okay and understand what that is. I think,
Absolutely.
so the trees that they're putting are mature trees and they have to grow. You can't, not gonna get you're not gonna get full 20-foot trees, that's impossible. But you will get, I think, plenty
14 feet of
of buffer and vegetation, and then the trees will grow. And we don't allow them to have dead trees on their property.
They
We
will
will come and
enforce.
find them for that.
Absolutely.
So don't worry, the trees will survive and they will grow, and the city makes sure of that. So, yes, we have an
And also the
arborist,
other
yes.
change from what was submitted is the change to the elevation of the Navarro to incorporate the Bahamian yellow just as accent. So if that's okay for modification on the
That's
record,
fine.
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, we'll memorialize that. All right, thank you very much. Again, I'm satisfied with the responses. I think that we have been able to, as much as possible, come to a consensus and place of understanding. And I know you all will be happy Navarro shoppers. No. Oh, I wish. They're long gone. Okay.
Maybe a
let's-
small independent bookshop in
Yes,
those
maybe a small
27,000
independent
square.
bookshop in the retail. Yes, we're hopeful for
All
that.
books
All
and
right.
books.
Okay. So, and again, we don't engage in the back and forth debate. So if some of you felt that you came up and we didn't respond, understand it's our practice and a policy not to go back and forth in that because it just opens up the door to a lot. So we don't conduct in that. But thank you very much for being here once again. And I know we can't always make everybody happy, but we do our best to try and listen to our residents and comply within the law. Okay, we do sit as a quasi judicial board up here, so thank you. All right, I need a motion to approve.
A motion, but I have a comment.
Motion to approve by Councilwoman Reynoso, and you're on the floor for a comment.
Thank you. And also, one of the conversations that I was having with the applicant's counsel was about our children. I wanted to make sure that the property was safe for them. And they did tell me that they did consider 41st and having ample space between 41st and the property. I'm a mother of 3, and that's imperative. I mean, all of us care about that. So that was part of my conversations with them. So they did take that into consideration, the safety of our children and the community that is going to visit that area. And I do want to echo what the council member Pinedo said, as far as, looking into what is going to be the least impact to your community, because your community is our community and we're here for you. Well, we're here because of you. So I definitely do appreciate all the comments today. I really did take it to heart. It did open another perspective for me as well. And I hope that I did a good job representing the needs and the questions that you had today. And I believe the applicant's counsel is very professional. She's been doing this for a very, very long time. She is an adversary. And I know that she takes into consideration, their team takes into consideration the community that we represent and the needs of the community in balance with their client. So I appreciate everybody that came out today. So thank you.
All right, and we have a motion to approve. We need a second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please please call the roll.
Motion to approve made by Councilwoman Reynoso, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cabral?
No.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we move on to the next item. Thank you.
Next item, item 20D, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city. A resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a site plan modification for Royal Atlantic Realty, Inc., located at 2020 Northwest 89th Place in the city of Doral, Florida, pursuant to section 53-184F of the city's land development code and providing for an effective date.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open up public hearing. Public hearing is now open for item 20D, 26-6694. Anyone who would like to speak on this item, please approach the podium. Okay, being no comments, the public comments is now closed. Madam Clerk, like the record reflect, no one has chosen to speak at this time. And we will take any ex parte communication before we hear from the staff. Any ex parte communication on this one? Okay, being none, go ahead.
Thank you.
Mr. Magdaleno.
Okay, so this is Royal Atlantic Realty, Inc. They are coming for an industrial warehouse site plan modification. It is located at 2020 Northwest 89th Place, close proximity to the Finger Lakes. It's approximately total acreage of 2.3 acres. The entire area is surrounded by industrial future land use categories and zoning districts. These are the existing conditions. If you see the top right picture on the right, you'll have the existing warehouses. And to the east of that, or the west of that, you see the existing three-story office building that they are proposing to demolish and replace by expanding the warehouses into the office space. Here is the site plan. As I said, that three-story office building will be demolished. It was developed in 1985, and it's going to be redeveloped by more warehouses totaling 17,000 approximately square feet. You'll have 41 parking spaces, and it'll be a modern look. This is the landscape plan. You'll see it's surrounded by trees and shrubs. Here are the elevations. These are the renderings of the proposed site. It complies with all of our site plan evaluation standards that are applicable. And based on that, staff recommends that you approve the modification of the site plan. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer anything, and Joe is also here for any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Marguerite. So do we need to hear from the applicant?
No, Madam Mayor, we agree. Just one correction, that building has been demolished.
Has been.
The office, yeah, so it was just, I guess, in between, but the proposed construction is new construction on what is currently vacant.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I need a motion to approve.
Motion to
There's no-
approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. All right, Madam Clerk.
Motion to approve made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Corral?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move on to the next item, going to first readings.
First reading, ordinance number 2026-18, Fourth Amendment to Downtown Doral MDA and Pattern Book. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving the Fourth Amendment to the Downtown Doral Master Development Agreement, modifications to the Downtown Doral Urban Regulations Pattern Book, providing for recordation, implementation, severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and open up to public comments for this item, 20E, also known as 26-6698. Anyone who has any comments, please approach the podium. Okay, being none, public comments is now closed, and I will take any ex parte communication. I did meet with the applicants for a brief discussion. It will not affect my decision. All right, Mr. Magrizo.
So we don't have a presentation for this one. I'll just explain what the modifications of the MDA are. As the mayor mentioned, this is the fourth modification of the MDA. The first thing the modification does is reallocate the square footage that is allotted throughout downtown Doral. Specifically, it's removing 100,000 square feet from the retail allocation, and it is being granted to the new hotel use. So that's going to generate about 213 rooms. So there's not an increase in square footage. It's just, like I said, a reallocation of what was already approved. Additionally, the height that you are allowed to build in downtown Doral is being changed. Currently, the city has matched the Miami-Dade County standards of height. Recently, Miami-Dade County shifted its standard to match what the FAA standard is. So we are moving to the new FAA standard, which is going to match Miami-Dade County's. The other thing that the amendment does is it caps the total dwelling unit allotment that you are allowed to have to 35 units an acre. So they will not be, that's where they're capped at. So you can't go above or below that number. And the last thing it does is amends the pattern book. The pattern book never contemplated single-family homes within the downtown Doral area. You have a new development here that has single-family homes, and the pattern book will now have design criteria for single-family homes. Other than that, unless I missed anything, that is the amendment.
Okay.
And Joe is here if you have any questions.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilwoman Cabral.
Second.
Second by Councilman Pinedo. Is there any other additional questions, comments? No. All mine were addressed when we talked, so, okay.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-18 on first reading made by Vice Mayor Cabral, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Vice Mayor Cabral?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. We're going to hear item 20Q now, since we moved it.
Item 20Q, second reading. Ordinance number 2026-07, vacation of street La Jolla. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a public right-of-way vacation of Northwest 52nd Terrace in downtown Doral, adjacent to the properties with folio numbers 353022018010, 353022018020, 353022018030, and 353022018040 for the proposed housing development named La Jolla, authorizing the city manager to execute any necessary documents for this provision upon approval of a second reading by the city council, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date. This was approved on first reading on April 8th.
Okay, I'm opening up public comments for item 20Q, also known as 26-6570. Anyone who would like to speak on this item, and this item alone, please approach the podium. Public comments is now closed on this item, and we will hear from staff, or
second reading.
It's second reading.
It's second
there's-
reading,
We got
Mayor.
everything we needed, right? I think that's the.
Yes, we did. We have no changes between first and second. The applicant received all the approvals they needed to from the county and their process, so we're good. Yeah.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilwoman Cabral,
Second.
second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-07 on second reading made by Vice Mayor Cabral, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Vice Mayor Cabral?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. We'll go back now to item
20F.
20F.
20F, ordinance number 2026-19, Emerald Tuna Investment LLC rezoning. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving an amendment to the city's official zoning map from industrial I to corridor commercial CC for plus or minus 1.5 acres for the property located at 2500 Northwest 107th Avenue, providing for severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up public comments for item 20F, also known as 26-6703. Anyone who would like to speak at this time, please approach the podium. Seeing none, public comments is now closed, and I will take any ex parte communication. All right, I don't believe there's been any.
Great.
Mr. Magrizo, the floor is yours.
So this is Emery Tuna Investment. It's a rezoning. The property is located on 107th Avenue. It's approximately 1.5 acres. They are looking to rezone from industrial to corridor commercial. A quick background, when the city incorporated in 2003, the city adopted Miami-Dade County's zoning and future land use maps. When the city created its own future land use map and zoning code, the original zoning and future land use were incompatible with the two, that being business and industrial. In our code, those are incompatible uses, so we are here to correct that, to rezone the property so it's compatible with your comprehensive plan. The site, like I said, is business. The zoning district is industrial. To the north, you have business and industrial as well. And to the south, it is not within the city limits. These are the existing views of what is there now. The rezoning is to corridor commercial from industrial. It's a permitted use for what is used currently, so they can continue operating with no issues. This is just a cleanup for the city to be compatible with one another. The land use designation, like I said, is business, and based on this, staff recommends to right the wrong that is currently being done and approve the rezoning to corridor commercial. And the applicant is here if you have any questions.
I just want to clarify that there's no proposed development or anything. This was just a
Correct, Mayor.
correction on
Correct,
the
Mayor.
compatible uses
Yes.
within the area.
Yes.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve by Vice Mayor Cabral. You have a second by Councilwoman Reynoso. There's no additional comments or questions. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-19 on first reading made by Vice Mayor Cabral, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Vice Mayor Cabral?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, we're now going to go to item 20H since we've already exhausted 20Q.
20H, ordinance number 2026-21, restating and reaffirming repeal of ordinance 2023-15, an ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, reaffirming and restating ordinance number 2023-15, providing for findings regarding pending litigation concerning the retroactive application of ordinance number 2023-15, reaffirming the city's position that the retirement system for elected officials was canceled and is no longer active upon adoption of ordinance number 2023-15, affirming the repeal of ordinance 2021-02, affirming the repeal of Article 9 retirement system for elected officials of Chapter 2 of the City of Doral Code of Ordinances, providing for stability, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict, and providing for an effective date.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and open up public comments for item 20H, or also known as 26-6724. Anyone would like to speak on this item and this item alone, please approach the podium. Showing no interest. We will close public comments and we will hear from staff, or I think it's legal that will address this item.
Yes, Mayor.
Oh.
Madam Mayor, Council. So back in 2023, the council repealed a pension program that had been authorized through an ordinance established in 2021. That repeal was subsequently subject of litigation, which is currently before the third DCA on a rehearing. The purpose for this is just to make sure that there's no doubt that in 2023, when that 2021 ordinance, that pension program was repealed, it was repealed properly. And so it's just reaffirming that. There was a question of whether its application was retroactive or not, but regardless of its retroactive applicability, what this is stating that on 2023, as of that date, the pension program no longer exists in the city of Doral as it relates to its elected officials.
Okay. All right, is there any comments or questions?
I have a quick question, Mayor.
Yes, Councilwoman Porras?
Yeah, I just want to confirm that there will not be anyone that's going to receive the pension moving forward, even if, you know, they acquire the age required under the original pension because they were just not vested. I just wanted to confirm that that's it.
Yeah, through the mayor, Councilwoman, that is correct. The pension program as of 2023 was no longer in existence, so there's no one that can benefit from it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right, I need a motion. Motion to approve by Councilwoman Reynoso, second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-21 on first reading made by Councilwoman Reynoso, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cabral?
No.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Move on to the next item. Oh, so for now, these items, so everyone follows along, 20I to 20N will be under one presentation as they are all related. We will incorporate all the comments that will be made under 20I from the first reading, since the second reading, into the record. The first reading was on June 10th, so we'll have a brief presentation from you all, if there's any, or just let us know if there's been any changes. And then we will take up the item and open up public comments. Let me open up public hearing first. Let me open up public hearing for item 20I, also known as 26-6615. Anyone that would like to speak on this item, please approach the podium.
Mayor, can I read it into the record?
Yes, sorry.
Ordinance number 2026-09, Gray Star Comprehensive Plan Amendment. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, amending the city of Doral Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Element by creating the mall mixed-use MMU Future Land Use Designation, establishing purpose and intent, applicability, and development parameters for regional shopping mall properties 15 acres or greater, currently designated as future land use map as business, and providing for residential development opportunities within qualifying developments. Authorizing the transmittal of a text amendment adoption package to the State Land Planning Agency and other required governmental reviewing agencies pursuant to the provisions of Section 1633184 Florida statutes, providing for conflict, severability, authorization, and adoption, and an effective date. This was approved on first reading on June 10th.
Okay, public comments are open for item 20I, 26-6615. Anyone who would like to speak, please approach the podium. Okay, being none, public comments is now closed, and we will take any ex parte communications. I did have some communications with the applicant, nothing that will affect my decision. Is there any other one? Okay, Mr. Magrizo, do you want to put anything on the record, any changes from first to second?
The only change that we made was to the land development code for all the items. I'll just put it on the record now. It is that we defined what open space is. We said that there is a minimum of 20% open space, and then of that 20% open space, 15% of that has to be dedicated to landscape. That's the only change that we made within the land development code creation between first and second reading. Other than that, all the items remain the same.
Okay. Is there any comments or questions for the applicant at this time?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Vice Mayor Cabral,
Second.
second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-09 on second reading, made by Vice Mayor Cabral, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Vice Mayor Cabral?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras?
Yes.
Councilman Reynoso?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, move on to item 20J. Madam Clerk, please read it into the record.
Item 20J, ordinance number 2026-10, Gray Star LEC text amendment. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, amending chapter 68, land uses and zoning district, article 5, mixed-use districts of the city of Doral Land Development Code by creating a division 6 small mixed-use district MMU zoning district, establishing a purpose and intent, applicability, permitted and prohibited uses, development standards, design criteria, and development review procedures for regional shopping mall properties 15 acres or greater, providing for the integration of residential units within qualifying developments, providing for incorporation into the land development code, severability, conflicts, and an effective date. This was approved on first reading on June 10th.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open up for public comments on 20J, also known as 26-6616. Again, all comments from the first reading on June 10th will be incorporated into the record. Showing no interest. Public comments is now closed. And we will take any ex parte communication. Again, I did have some communication with the applicant and it will not affect my decision. Okay. Motion to approve by Councilwoman Reynoso, second by Vice Mayor Cabral. There's no additional comments or questions. Again, I don't believe there's been any changes other than what has been put onto the record. Madam Clerk.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-10 on second reading, made by Councilman Reynoso, seconded by Vice Mayor Cabral. Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cabral?
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we move on to item 20K.
20K, ordinance number 2026-11, Gray Star Flum Amendment. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a small-scale land use amendment to the city of Doral Comprehensive Plan use of land to change the use of designation from Business B to Mall Mixed Use MMU for plus or minus 25.61 acres for the property generally located at 1625 Northwest 107th Avenue and 1603 Northwest 107th Avenue, providing for incorporation of recitals, severability, conflicts, and an effective date. This was approved on first reading on June 10th.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open up public comments for item 20K, also known as 26-6617. Anyone like to speak on this item, please approach the podium. Being none, public comments is now closed, and we will take any ex parte communication. Again, I did have communication with the applicant, and it will not affect my decision.
Motion.
Motion to approve by
Second.
Councilwoman Reynoso, second by Vice Mayor Cabral. All comments will be incorporated into the record from the June 10th council meeting. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-11 on second reading made by Councilwoman Reynoso, seconded by Vice Mayor Cabral. Councilwoman Reynoso.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cabral.
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras.
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo.
Yes.
Mayor Fraga.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Next item, Madam Clerk.
20L, ordinance number 2026-12, Gray Star rezoning. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving an amendment to the city's official zoning map from corridor commercial district CC to mall mixed-use MMU for plus or minus 25.61 acres for the property generally located at 1625 Northwest 107th Avenue and 1603 Northwest 107th Avenue, providing for incorporation of recitals, severability, conflicts, and an effective date. This was approved on first reading on June 10th.
All right, we're going to go ahead and open up public comments. Public comments now open for item 20L, also known as 26-6618. Anyone would like to speak on this item, please approach the podium. Being none, public comments is now closed, and I will take any ex parte communication. Same as last item, put it on the record. And I don't believe there's been any changes. Same comments will be incorporated from first reading. Need a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion to approve by Vice Mayor Cabral.
Second.
Second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-12 on second reading made by Vice Mayor Cabral, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Vice Mayor Cabral.
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo.
Yes.
Councilman Reynoso.
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras.
Yes.
Mayor Fraga.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 20M, ordinance number 2026-14, Gray Star International Mall DRI modification. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a modification to the Miami International Mall Consolidated Development of Regional Impact DRI Development Order to allow residential development within certain parcels of the DRI totaling approximately 25.612 acres for the property generally located at 1625 Northwest 107th Avenue and 1603 Northwest 107th Avenue, finding that such change does not require review pursuant to section 380.06 Florida statutes, providing for findings of fact and conclusions of law, and providing for an effective date. This was approved on first reading on June 10th.
All right, I'm going to open up public comments for item 20M, also known as 26-6620. Anyone who would like to speak on this item and this item alone, please approach the podium. Okay, being none, public comments is now closed, and we'll take any ex parte communications. I did have the same communications, and it's not affect my decision. Mr. Mestizo.
I have an amendment to the ordinance,
Okay.
Mayor. Section 7 should read as follows. Effective date, this ordinance shall become effective as provided by law, provided that ordinance numbers 2026-09, 2026-10, 2026-11, 2026-12, and 2026-15 become effective. In the event of any of the foregoing ordinances do not become effective, the ordinance shall be deemed null and void and no further force or effect. So you should approve that as amended.
Okay, I need a motion to approve
Motion.
as amended.
As amended.
Okay, motion to approve as amended by Vice
Second.
Mayor Cabral, second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-14 as amended on second reading made by Vice Mayor Cabral, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Vice Mayor Cabral.
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo.
Yes.
Councilman Reynoso.
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras.
Yes.
Mayor Fraga.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, Madam Clerk, 20N.
And Nicole.
20N. Ordinance number 2026-15, Gray Star International Mall, MDA. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a development agreement with EWE Retail 2 Ltd., JCP International 1 LLC, and West State County Associates for a conceptual master site plan for a residential development project with the Miami International Mall Consolidated Development of Regional Impact DRE, limited to certain parcels totaling approximately 25.612 acres of the property generally located at 1625 Northwest 107th Avenue and 1603 Northwest 107th Avenue in the mall mixed-use zoning MMU, providing for incorporation of recitals and providing for an effective date. This was approved on first reading on June 10th.
Okay, opening up public comments for item 20N, also known as 26-6621. Anyone who would like to speak on this item, please approach the podium. Don't all get up on one time. Okay. Being none, public comments is now closed, and I'll take any ex parte communication. Again, I had communications with the applicant, will not affect my decision, and all comments from the first section of the first reading will be incorporated into this item. Mr. Magarizo, I do believe you have comments on the
So
MDA?
you're getting the updated MDA. So we kept the red line version of it, so you can see the changes that have been made. And I do have a amendment to the ordinance. So Section 3 should be stricken in its entirety and replaced as follows. Section 3 shall read, Effectiveness of development agreement. The development agreement shall only become effective upon mutual execution by the city developer and West Dade and proper recordation of the development agreement in the public records of Miami-Dade County pursuant to section 163.3239 Florida statutes, provided that ordinance numbers 2026-09, 2026-10, 2026-11, 2026-12, 2026-14 become effective, and as further provided herein. Within 30 days of the adoption of this ordinance, the applicant shall deliver to the city clerk and the city attorney in recordable form the fully executed development agreement for recordation in the public records of Miami-Dade County, Florida, at the applicant's expense. Failure to provide the fully executed development agreement at the time of frame set forth herein shall result in the development agreement, the DRI modification ordinance number 2026-014, and any associated site plans approved in connection with the development agreement being deemed null and void and no further force or effect. This section may be only modified with city council approval. Section 4 shall be created and read as follows: severability. If any section, subsection, clause, or provision of this ordinance is held invalid, the remainder shall not be affected in such invalidity. Section 5 shall be created and read as follows: effective date, this ordinance shall be effective as provided by law. You should
Okay.
approve as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Marguerite. So do I have a motion to approve as amended?
Motion to approve as amended.
Motion to approve as amended by Vice Mayor Cabral.
Second.
Second by Councilman Pino. Is there any questions about the amendments? Okay, being none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-15 as amended on second reading made by Vice Mayor Cabral, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Vice Mayor Cabral?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. All right, we will now take up item 20O and 20P with one presentation of the site plan, since they are, they're the same applicants and addressing the same issues. So we'll hear one presentation after we open up public comments for the first item, and then they will be incorporated into the second item. All right, Madam Clerk, please read it into the record.
Item 20O, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a site plan for Greystar Development East LLC for plus or minus 7.33 acres of property located at 1625 Northwest 107th Avenue in the city of Doral, Florida, pursuant to residential phase 1 of the master development agreement with the city and section 53-184F of the city's land development code, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, opening up public comments for item 20O, or also known as 26-6695. Anyone who would like to speak, please approach the podium. Being none, public comments is now closed, and I will take any ex parte communications before we hear the presentation on the site plan. I did, again, have discussions with the applicant, actually not even about the site plan, but will not affect my decision.
This is the Greystar Development East LLC. It is located, as you know, at the International Mall, approximately 12.9 acres, 1625 Northwest 107th Avenue. And this is, as the mayor said, for sites 1 and 2. The future land use category and the zoning designations have just been changed to mall mixed use and mall mixed use. To the south, east, and west, you have Miami International Mall, where it's a business and commercial corridor. And to the north, you have warehouses, which is the industrial district and corridor commercial. This is the existing views as you see it. The top right is where the site 1 and 2, you can see the division of the two sites. This is a more conceptual site plan between sites 1 and 2. As you can see, the unit count for site 1 is 292 total units, and for site 2 is a total of 230 units. This is the landscape plan. You can see that the site is filled with trees and palm trees and multiple shrubs across both sites. Here are the elevations from all sides. The site plan standards, it complies with all of our site plan standards. And based on this, staff recommends the approval of Site Plan 1 and Site Plan 2 of Greystar.
Okay, thank you very much.
If you have any questions.
Mr. Magrizo, would the applicant like to make a presentation? Are you satisfied with staff? Did they do a good job?
James Williams at Gunster Law Office, 600 Rickle Avenue, Miami, Florida. I had a brief 30-minute presentation. I'm just kidding. As always, your staff does an incredible job.
Just kidding.
I'm happy to forego the presentation. The only change I think is to the resolution on the code enforcement for housekeeping. But as always, Mr. Magrizo did a fantastic job, so I'm happy to forego. If you have any questions, myself and my team are here to answer any questions.
Okay. Is there any questions for the applicant or staff regarding the site plan?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Vice Mayor Cabral.
Wait, 1 second. There's an amendment.
Oh, it's to the Sunset, yes.
So, sorry. So the amendment, Section 5 should read as follows. Effective date, this resolution shall become effective upon ordinance number 2026-09, ordinance number 2026-10, 2026-11, 2026-12, 2026-14, and ordinance 2026-15 become effective. In the event the development agreement approved by ordinance 2026-15 is deemed null and void, in accordance with Section 3 therein, the site plan approved herein shall be likewise deemed null and void, and no further action or effect.
All right, thank you very much.
Should,
So
as amended.
motion to approve as amended. Again, I'll have you.
Motion, yeah, as amended.
All right, do I have a second? Second by Councilman Pinedo. There's no comments or questions or anyone who would like to hear a 30-minute presentation. All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve as amended, made by Vice Mayor Corral, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Vice Mayor Corral?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Porras? Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Item 20P, Madam Clerk, please read it into the record. Please remember that the presentation that was just given will be incorporated into this item as well.
A resolution of the Mayor of the City Council of the City of Doral, Florida, approving a site plan for Great Star Development East LLC for plus or minus 5.66 acres of property located at 1625 Northwest 107th Avenue in the City of Doral, Florida, pursuant to Residential Phase 2 of the Master Development Agreement with the city and pursuant to Section 53-184F of the city's Land Development Code and providing for an effective date.
Okay, opening up public comments. Public comments are now open for item 20P, also known as 26-6697. Anyone who would like to place comments on the record, now is your opportunity. Being none, public comments is now closed, and I'll take any ex parte communication. Again, I did have several conversations about this project with the developer, and it will not affect my decision. Mr. Magrizo, would you like to put your amendment onto the
I
record?
have an amendment. Section 5 should read as follows. Effective date, this resolution shall become effective upon ordinance number 2026-09, 2026-10, 2026-11, 2026-12, 2026-14, and 2026-15 becoming effective in the event that the development agreement approved by ordinance number 2026-15 is deemed null and void in accordance with Section 3 therein. The site plan approved herein shall likewise be deemed null and void and no further effect or action.
Okay, I need a motion to approve as amended.
Motion to approve as amended.
Motion to approve as amended by Vice Mayor Cabral. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Pinedo. If there's no additional questions, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve as amended, made by Vice Mayor Corral, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Vice Mayor Corral?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilman Reynoso?
Yeah.
Councilman Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we'll move on to item 20R since we've already exhausted 20Q.
Item 20R, ordinance number 2026-13, text amendment, digital signs for public institutions. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving / denying a text amendment to chapter 80 sign regulations of the city's land development code by amending section 80-3 definitions to create a new definition for public institution, amending division 4 permanent signs for non-residential uses of article 5 sign standards and requirements by amending section 80-259A1 office signs and section 80-260A1 industrial signs to provide the inclusion of a digital changeable message sign as attached freestanding or monument sign and allowable sign type for public institutions, providing for conflicts and providing for an effective date. This was approved on first reading on June 10th.
All right, we're going to go ahead and open up public comments for item 20R, also known as 26-6619. Anyone who would like to approach the podium regarding this item and this item alone, now is your reasonable opportunity. This is second reading. Don't believe there's been any changes. Public comments is now closed. Mr. Magrizo, any changes from first to second reading?
No changes.
Being none, I need a
Motion to
motion.
approve.
Motion to approve by Vice Mayor Cabral,
Second.
second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-13 on second reading made by Vice Mayor Cabral, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Vice Mayor Cabral?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilman Porras?
Yes.
Councilman Reynoso?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 20S, 2020, ordinance 2026-16, text amendment, nurseries. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, amending chapter 74 entitled Miscellaneous and Supplementary Regulations, article 3 entitled Special Setbacks and Uses, division 3 entitled Regulations for Uses Under the Power Lines, specifically section 74-123 entitled Permitted Use Conditions of the Code of Ordinances of the city of Doral, adding subsection 74-123.1 entitled Nurseries, 74-123.2 entitled Definitions, 74-123.3 entitled Permitting and Approvals, 74-123.4 entitled Permitted Facilities, Types, and Portable Structures. 74-123.5, entitled Setbacks, Buffers, and Street Distinctions. 74-123.6, entitled ADA and Accessibility Requirements. 74-123.7, entitled Structural Standards. 74-123.8, entitled Paving and Draining Standards. 74-123.9, entitled Environmental and Sanitary Requirements. And 74-123.10, entitled City Inspection and Enforcement, providing for incorporation into the code, conflicts, implementation, severability, and an effective date. This was approved on first reading on June 10.
All right. Opening up public comments for item 20S, also known as 26-6645. Anyone who would like to speak on this item and this item alone, please approach the podium. Being none, public comments now closed. This is second reading, and I don't believe there's been any changes from first to second reading. Mr. Magrizo?
No changes.
Okay, thank you very much. I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Vice Mayor Cabral.
Second.
Second by Councilman Pinedo. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Sorry.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-16 on second reading made by Vice Mayor Cabral, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Vice Mayor Cabral?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilman Reynoso? Councilwoman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Hey, final item of the night, Madam City Clerk. Dare I put this candy on my mouth?
20T, ordinance number 2026-17, adopting a ratified investment policy. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, adopting a ratified investment policy for the city of Doral, providing for severability, implementation, conflicts, and an effective date. This was approved on first reading on June 10th.
All right, opening up public comments for item 20T, also known as 26-6634. Anyone like to speak on this item and this item alone, please approach the podium. Being none, public comments is now closed, and I don't believe that there's any changes from first to second reading.
No, Mayor, there are no changes between first and second reading.
We have a motion to approve. Motion to approve by Councilwoman Reynoso.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Pinedo. There's no comments or questions. Madam Clerk, please call a roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-17 on second reading made by Councilwoman Reynoso, seconded by Councilman Pinedo. Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Porras?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cabral?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you all very much. This exhausts our agenda for today. We'll see you all at the next council meeting. Have a great first day back to school tomorrow. I need a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn by Councilwoman Reynoso.
Second.
Second by Councilman Pinedo. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Don't all jump at once. This meeting is adjourned. We'll see you all at the next council meeting.